So we're going to do a half walk of the Mountsandel wood today. This is the entrance. This here area, you can see it's all scrubland. The reason why there's been no houses ever built in here is because this actual area we're standing on here now was where, back in the 70s, Professor Peter Woodman and his archaeologist team, this is on this site here, just on up, just where my finger is there, is where they did an archaeological dig and they were able to find evidence of the very, the earliest known settlement of humans in Ireland. It would have been dating between 700, 600 to 900 BC. So long ago they found flint tools indicating that Stone Age hunters camped here to fish salmon, which you'll see the river Bann once we go up and we go over the fort. That's where they used to catch the salmon. They've actually found evidence of huts in this area here, and they were able to see evidence of fire pits, and in the fire pits there was evidence of bones, so they knew that they got their food from the river Bann. So we're just entering in now to the mount. This is the start of the forest. In the distance there you can see some steps. There's a wee settled here. Leave my lead in there. So this is the start of a lovely forest walk. Something I do most times every day. Yeah, so this is an earthen fort, and it's pretty, well, it's big, put it that way. There we go, Mountsandel Fort. That's what it would have looked like. That's what it would have looked like back then. That's the period there that it would have been built in. And we'll go up the steps now. Mountsandel Fort State Care Monument. Oh, we're almost at the top now. There's a good view from up here. Wow. There we go. It's a big bowl in there. It's quite windy up here, so I'll do more talk as I get down the steps and get a bit more sheltered. Steps going up, now steps going down. I actually remember, I think it was in the mid-2000s, after a few storms and lots of rain, there was a whole side of this hill here slipped away. You can just see it there where Connie is, the dog, where it would have come all the way up that way, but it all slipped down that way. And you can see the evidence there. They had to bring diggers in. I remember there being fences, metal fences all the way around. You couldn't go in here for ages, and they had to put a new support wooden supports, and then fill it with a special stones, wire. So you can see where that is there. That's flat there, but that would have come up that way. So thankfully there's been no slips since then. So yeah, this area here, it's Ireland's oldest settlement. Mountsandel is crucial for understanding prehistoric life in Ireland because it provides the earliest evidence of living humans in a permanent structure, which was this. Ah, there's a butterfly. Oh, they never stay around too long. So we'll get that. It's a bit more sheltered down here now. Yeah, so as I said a bit earlier there, the most significant discovery here at Mountsandel is the underlying Metholithic site. Archaeologists led by Professor Peter Woodman in the 1970s, they say they found post holes from wooden huts, flint tools, and evidence of a diet, including fish and hazelnuts. There's still hazelnut trees around here. So, let's get onto this part. It dated the settlement here to 7,000 to 8,000 BC. And as I say, that makes it the earliest evidence of settled life found in Ireland. So, yep, go down this way, down that way. So situated on the same site as the visible fort which we've just walked down from. And that was an earthen mound that historians believe was an Anglo-Norman fort. And the fort itself is believed to date to the Iron Age and possibly served as the residence of the Norman king, John de Courcy, in the 12th century AD. And this location here, you'll see in a minute, the river ban. The fort is located right up in the heart, right in the middle of this wood. This is a half walk we're doing today, so we're going up and over the mountain and down to the left, and you can turn obviously to the right, but it's a slightly shorter walk. So if you ever do come here, there's actually 2 car park areas at each end of the forest. That area you see me walk into the forest there from the road. That's just a way the locals and residents do here, as I've been doing for years. So it's a circular walking trail around here, and at various places you'll get offered views of the River Bann and also the cuts. And the cuts is quite an impressive structure. It's like a dam. You can let water in, water out. Years ago it was used to fish salmon and the eels as well, I remember. So we're coming up to the River Bann now. This is usually where I throw the doggy in some sticks. I hope you can hear me okay, because I've got a bit of wind. The tide's kind of in at the minute. Sometimes that water comes all the way up to there. So, there we go. Connie, no sticks today. No sticks. Yeesh. This is a lovely late September afternoon here. It's lovely to feel the sun again. It's great to get out into nature and especially in a forest. Enjoy it. It's very peaceful. So we'll head off here in a few seconds. The water's not flowing so fast today. It has been this past few days, but I guess maybe they've shut the cuts. No, they have them open. I don't know if you can see up there. There's a whole lot of water coming down through, so yeah. Mum will head this way, Connie. No sticks today. I'm planning to do a live. I'm on TikTok, but I can't go live on TikTok until I have 50 followers. I've got 38, something like that at the minute. So it's a popular walking area, this. Especially days like this. Roughly takes, what, half an hour? Just over half an hour. I actually come down here in person every week, I would say, to lift litter. Grinds my gears that people that just can't take their litter home with them, whether it be a coffee cup. What really annoys me, is the dog walkers that the dog does a poo, they bag it up and they just leave it where it is on the track here. Or what's really funny, I think, is they launch them into trees and they hang by branches like some sort of a Christmas ornament. So, and I could easily fill a bin liner each week when I come down here. Beer bottles, cans, coffee cups. I've even found like kids' drinks and so on. Surely that kid must be walking with a parent or something, and the kid goes to its parents, "Here, Mum, Dad, I finished this. Oh, just chuck it down there." One of the parents must say, "Just chuck it down there." "What? But that's littering." "Yeah, just chuck it. That guy'll keep cleaning it." Anyway. Oh. I think the walk all the way around this comes to something like, is it nearly 2 kilometres? Or 3, I'm really not sure. It says that there's a post at the start of the forest way behind me, down at the far end. And this area here we're moving into it's quite busy with squirrels. And Connie there likes to give them a good chase. But of course they're too quick. There's no way she would ever catch one. Again, we're just walking up alongside the river ban here. You can see through the trees there, hopefully. And then quite steep hills here, the sides of it anyway. Oh, wow. Yeah. Get a lot of things sometimes washed up down here. Some of them I've actually taken home for the garden, like, I don't know, what was it? Planks of wood, just all washed up in there. Sometimes, not all the time. Here in Northern Ireland, we've had a problem this past few years with blue-green algae. It's ruined Loch Ness, which is way up the country, and it has been seen. I have seen blue-green algae in the water here. It comes down as far as here, and it's now actually reached this past few days the coastline of here, where there was Downhill Strand and Castle Rock. If you were swimming in it or put your pets in it and they drunk it, could make you quite ill. So pets are advised to stay out of the water, and humans are advised not to swim in it till it disappears. It seems to just happen, once the seasons get a bit warmer, and it must just must feed on it, and that's what makes there so much of it. Yes, come on. It's lovely down here in the springtime when the wild garlic starts to grow. There's not a lot of it in this forest, but there is a lot of places. There's wee bits sort of grow here and there. You get the right sort of a day, and a nice spring day, and you can actually smell it before you can just know it's there. Wild garlic, very invasive and illegal as far as I know to dig up. Not that I'd want to dig it up and put it in my garden, because it spreads like mad apparently. You have been warned. So now you can probably hear the roar of the cuts. That's the water coming over the cuts. It's quite shallow ground in there. I'll hopefully get a good place to show you. There's a wee bit here. We're going to go up in elevation a bit of a hill. Quite a number of years ago, the Forestry Commissioner, council or whatever, they put up these sort of structures here, these notice boards telling you what's, you know, what resides in the area. This particular one here is the heron. I've seen plenty of herons, especially out there at the cuts. They stand on the rocks. That's what a heron looks like there. Also some other wee birds there, kingfishers and so on. Although I've never seen a kingfisher down here, but I'm probably not close enough to the shore. So, going up a bit of an elevation now. There actually used to be a seat just there where I'm pointing. It's just disintegrated over the years. It was a lovely place to stop here. Just right there. They haven't replaced it. It's been a few years since it went. As you can hear the roar of the cuts now sort of getting bigger and more loud. When we get to the top of this hill, I should be able to show you, if you can see it through the trees. There's a bit too many leaves in the trees at the minute, so that's us up to the top. Cuts us through those trees, very hard to see. There's a structure over there, and then it's like a dam all the way across there. And those sluice gates are open at the minute, letting water through. They usually do that whenever there's a flood on. I would really have to go way down there to show you it properly, but not on this clip. Yeah, as I say, there's loads of squirrels in this area. I gave them, I grew sweet corn. I grow sweet corn, and this year they got most of my sweet corn cobs, which I'm sure they enjoyed. I just left them in the forest, came back a few days later and they were gone. So there's foxes actually in this forest too. Just before we reached the river a couple of minutes ago back there, I should have showed you there was like mounds where they've been digging, and they must have a set way in under the soil. But you can see the soil it's been disturbed. They tidy it up a fair bit. So we're just going past the cuts now. We're going downhill now, more to the side of the river band. I was talking to you about the archaeological dig that Professor Peter Woodman did in the 70s. I consider myself having a very good memory, and I can actually remember. I used to go to the Irish Society Primary School, which is about 10 minutes walk from the entrance of the forest, and we came here. I was in primary school, as I say. I think it was P5 or P6, possibly earlier, and that particular year that the archaeological dig was going on, I can remember seeing them all. Digging with their squares and all laid out on the ground. So, yeah. Get that country. Yeah, so we're about 18 minutes into our walk now, so I think it's actually more like 45 minutes it takes you to get around this, give or take a few minutes. So we're now right down at the side of the river. Yeah, there's quite a flood going on at the minute. I'll stop and show you. There's a couple of clearances up here. Let's see if we can get a decent view. Sun sort of. See how fast the water's flooding there. So that's the reason why they had to open up the cuts, the sluice gates there. There's been quite a few trees felled here in the last couple of storms. You can see one there. You always get a good old storm every winter, or even spring. We're coming up to another one of those wee plaques that shows you. I think this one's all about otters, because there's otters here on shore somewhere. Yeah, otters. Yep. And that's their footprints. Hard to distinguish sometimes between them and dog footprints, but so we're going along a level bit now, and then sort of veering away from the river a wee bit, and then we'll go up another elevation. That'll take us back up to the top level again, where we'll walk along probably another 10 minutes or so, and 10 or 15 minutes, and that'll take us back to the fort, that hill we went up at the start. Yeah, that area of scrubland I was showing you there at the start of the video, way at the start, that's, I mean, you know what it's like now in towns. If they find an area of land, they're just building houses on top of each other in them. But that area of scrubland I was telling you about, it's been vacant for years, so I would say it's a protected area. Oh, there's something in here I should show you. Someone's built sort of a little den, fireplace and all in it. Well, something for cooking. And just take a right in here. See, because there was loads of wood lying around here, big logs and so on, and someone, here we go. And I've never noticed this one before. I haven't noticed that one before. There's a few dens popping up in this area. And there's one up here which has the fire. Makes me want to come down. Some firelighters, saucepan, some sausages. Cook them up. That's it here. Another wee fort. This was just made not so long ago. So, and then in there you've got your wee oven or fireplace. Oh, that's pretty cool. Whoever did it. Right. Once again, we're down at the river here again. Lovely spot here. This way, Connie. See, I mean, I come down here every week, as I say, to clean up. It's just stuff through from people's hands. Can't take it home with them. To be fair, there's not a lot of bins in this forest. There's a bin at each entrance. Top entrance way up here, and then there's a bin at the lower entrance. But I would like to see a couple of bins put up at least, but then again, who gets paid for that to go down and clean that out? I could do it. Maybe I should let them know. Hope you all can hear me okay, because it's pretty breezy. But it's a lovely afternoon here. We've had 2 or 3 days like this now. This is probably our last blast of heat before, because you know, once October hits, that's it. It's mad, you know, for this past 2 or 3 years, do you know when you have the equinox? No, sorry. What I mean is when it's officially meteorologically goes from summer to autumn. It's literally like someone presses a button on that day of autumn, and it's just really autumnal. Blowing a gale, raining. But I think it was the same last year. We had just this sort of nice wee spell of weather. I think this is to last for another few days, and then we're back to normal. And the colder times will come in, but there's nothing we can do about that. But as sure as the sun sets and rises each day, spring and summer will return. I'm not really a winter person. I hate the cold and snow. My wife, she loves it. But then again, where she comes from, there's proper snow. And to be quite honest, our winters here, I don't really believe in global warming and all that crap, but they definitely have become milder. We used to purchase, just at the start of maybe coming into winter, we'd order a ton of blocks, coal for the fire, I just haven't used it. It's been too mild. There's just like, you know, winter years ago I remember ice and being really cold, especially in 2010. It was -17 here. But even now in December, in the heights of winter, you're probably still in the double digits temperature wise. I don't think I remember many days over the past few years that haven't been under 10 degrees, unless at night time obviously. But so we're coming up to the top of the walk now. I'll just go, and there's a wee bench here you could sit on after that walk up that hill. It is quite of an elevation change. There's another sign up here. Coming up on 30 minutes we've been in the forest, and that's just up and over the mountain down, and there's the Mountsandel wood. So we are here. That's the walk we just came on there, the lower walk. That's the upper one up there. It's the fountain, the mount there itself. And that's the other entrance to the forest. So we'll head along this way again, and that'll get us back round again. I actually prefer this part here of the forest. What I mean is when you go over the mount, down the steps, I love to go left. The right hand side walk, that's nice enough, like, but the right hand side walk there's not much to see really. You're away from the riverside. You can go down to, there's a sort of a wee lane halfway along the other route. There's a lane that leads you down to a jetty at the river ban. You can walk onto the jetty and you've good views of the Sandalford Bridge and right up the river, almost to the cuts. Sort of hooks round a wee bit the river. This place is lovely when it's like springtime, mid-spring. Literally everything's up really high. You can walk through all this, so but it's all sort of, as we're now in the autumn, it's all dying back. That's the thing about winter. Once everything dies away, there's probably a lot more rubbish lying that would have been hidden underneath all the foliage, but I'll get to that in time. See, like even wee things like that have to lift it. Must be my OCD kicking in. Yes, Connie. Didn't see any squirrels today. She usually runs and barks at them. Can never catch them, they're too fast. There's a lot of trees over the past 2-3 years cut down in this forest. It's literally, there was a while that nearly every time I come down there was a forest routine down. Something to do with ash dieback disease on the ash trees. Cyclist. Hiya. But I haven't seen any activity from them, the forestry guys. Well, I think I have once this year. Well, that's, hopefully they've got the rest of them cut down. You knew there was more trees to cut down because on the barks the guys would sort of do a pre-walk and then they would mark the tree with like a luminous orange spray, and that would mean that it needs cut down. I've seen actually sometimes parts of the forestry team actually drive a car up this path. You can do it, like I've seen it, but you would need to know where the elevation changes and where it veers off down there. You could be rolling down there pretty easy. It's a lovely afternoon. Yep, we're coming up now, bang on the half hour. I would say it's 40 minutes around this whole thing. This way. Oh, here comes another doggy. Yes. Round. Okay. Hello there.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, and yourself?
Good, yes, thank you. Here, come. Friend, come this way. Come on. Why do dogs always sniff each other's butts? Be weird if us humans did that. Yeah, for years I come down to a wee area here there's a fence here. I always thought there was a river or something underneath it years ago, but it's just been fenced off because there's quite a drop down there. There's quite a drop down there, so that's why they put the fence up years ago. Loads of different kinds of trees in this forest. Birch, not many pine trees, there's a few oak trees, there's horse chestnuts. There's only a couple in this forest. There's a lot of horse chestnut trees outside the courthouse, which is not far from the far end of the forest. That's a horse chestnut there. That's where you get your conkers from. Yeah, that used to be a conker. A conker was in that. It's like a horse chestnut. Comes in this spiky, it's like a spiky ball. And the conkers themselves are like walnut sort of coloured. They're lovely things. You can make soap out of them if you know what to do. You can they scare away spiders apparently. Yeah, I've tried that. I've done that. Collected plenty of conkers over the years. Now I just leave them for everybody else. Well, it's not far to go now before we get back to our place where we went up into the fort. Hope you enjoy this video. I haven't done much of these before, not very much, but it's a nice relaxing walk. Maybe if you put on some headphones or something, sort of immerses yourself in the sound a wee bit better in the surroundings. Yeah, you don't see a lot of litter down here. I don't know if I have anything to do with it. I've never met anybody else collecting litter before. But I do it because I don't like to see the place with litter. It's not nice to see when you're walking along, so I bag it up and take it home and bin it. What's supposed to be done in the first place? Don't know how many people's binning stuff I've been doing. Starting to hear the roar of the cuts now, because we're coming back sort of parallel to it. Nice tree there. I tried tapping birch trees a few years ago, but it wasn't successful. I need to look in more into it. Tapping is where, just when spring starts and the leaves start forming, you can sort of hammer some sort of a tube into the tree, right at the bark, put a container underneath it, and it taps out water secretion from the actual tree itself, and it's purely drinkable, very healthy. I got some juice out, but I need to research it better and see how it's exactly done. Used to be there's a wall here, and you sort of see that's cut out there for a seat. Used to be a wooden bench there again. That was years ago. It hasn't been ever put up again. I suppose there's nothing to see now. I remember when I was younger, when the bench was there, those trees were hardly. You could have seen through them and seen the view, but probably because there's no view. No, they didn't do anything about it. Understandable. Oh, Connie! Squirrel! Oh, you missed it. Did you see that? A squirrel. Went up there, Connie. Maybe a way up the tree, they're so fast. See it, Connie? She probably smells it. So we've just passed the cuts here on our left on our way back. There's quite a big drop here. I always thought that would be an awesome place to have a swing, you know, a rope swing, tied up there. How you would get up, I have no idea. You could go off there and swing, holding on tightly. Quite steep there. It's the lower path walk there that we came on. No squirrels, Consters. Just one today. Yeah, got a few more corners here to go. So I'll just go over what I talked about at the start about Mountsandel Fort and the wood. So the Mountsandel wood contains one of the earliest known settlements of humans in Ireland, going back as far as 78,000 BC. And at that area, at the start of the video, flint tools were found, and that indicated that Stone Age hunters camped here to fish for salmon in the natural weir, or that area where the cuts is. There's more forts along this walk. Not as big as Mountsandel one, but I would take it years ago they were used as maybe smoke signals or something. One would send one message to the other one. Maybe. Yeah. There's a small fort further about 2 miles up the road, going out of Coleraine, at the place called the Lochan. It's a very small one, very dainty one. It hasn't got a hole in it in the middle like the one here. There's a few more dotted around this area. It's a bit of research I would love to do, is to find out how many there actually are in this area. Yeah. 40 minutes just passed, so yeah, it'll be 41 or 42 minutes the entire left hand side of this walk took us. We're coming up now again to the fort itself. It'll be on the left. Yeah, you can see it from the path because it is so big. Coming into view shortly. Yeah, it's it up there. Yeah, I'll do another walk tomorrow or whenever. I'll video that as well, the other way. Go straight down that way. Oh yeah, there's another plaque up here, so I'll take you over to that. Wow. It's a nice seat there. Oh, more rubbish there. Let's go and see what this one's all about. I think this is actually, yeah, as I was talking to you earlier on about when I was in primary school and I actually seen them digging here. It was in this area here. This entire area here. I remember seeing them over there. With their, the archaeologists, they do these square things and then map stuff. And there's the Methodistic settlement. So just read this. During the 1970s, Peter Woodman and his team of archaeologists uncovered evidence here of a Methodistic, which is a Middle Stone Age settlement, dated 7700 to 7400 BC. Their discoveries dramatically revised our understanding of prehistoric life. Mountsandel remains the earliest known settlement site in Ireland. And that's an example of some of the artefacts they found here. The flints, 4 axes were found, 5 to 7, those are pointed implements, shown actual size, single pointed bore and picks of the late Mesolithic period, saline triangles, possibly reconstruction use for microliths. 9 to 13, these are small ones, those are microliths, shown actual size, very small implements, mostly used as components for tools such as harpoons, arrows and knives. And there's the evidence of the huts. I'll read this for you in case you can't see it. Evidence was found of a succession of almost egg-shaped huts around 6 meters in diameter, with storage pits, drying racks and a flint working area. The majority of artifacts found were flint implements with some stone axes. There was also a huge numbers of large fish, bird and wild pig bones, and a large quantity of hazelnut shells and water lily seeds. This was a complex and organised settlement occupied for a substantial part of the year by an extended family group of about 10 people. They would have been attracted by the huge range of food and the natural resources arising from the proximity of the river. The rich forest area, flint from the cliffs on the shore to the north, and the fact that the river could be crossed at this point. That's going back to 8000 BC, 4000. Crazy amount of time ago. Yes, Connie, we'll go home now. So we'll head back out. This is the area where we first came in, of course. And we'll take this rubbish with us. Some people must come down here and they have picnics, and then it's like people going to the beach, they just leave the barbecues. Someone else will get it. Yeah, so that's the end of the walk. We're now on the scrubland that we entered from. As I say, this is the actual area here where they found the evidence of the huts, flints and remnants or whatever. It's crazy how stuff like that can last such a long time. Be found thousands of years later by archaeologists like Professor Peter Woodman. There's been no other major digs here since the 70s, but I'm sure that there's evidence below our feet here. Who knows what could be found there? So, over and out. Hope you enjoy it. Bye bye.